which was a game between two veterans of our Joryu Lady Professional World, which is Suzuki Kana versus Taniguchi Yuki. Suzuki is Joryu L.2dan and Taniguchi is the same, Joryu L.2dan. Those two players are very experienced game players, and I think this is a nice game to watch. So let's see. Suzuki-san is actually a Ibisha player, and Taniguchi is famous for playing Furibisha. Suzuki-san is very famous for being strong in endgame. So let's see. This strategy is to block the possibility of third file rook. So let's say like this. Let's say this, this. And this would allow this nice shape, we call it Ishida shape. So if you don't like to play against this shape, good strategy is to push this pawn early to force your opponent to move bishop up and therefore block the rook path. Alright, so Suzuki-san didn't open the bishop yet. She will eventually. And here you have Taniguchi-san asking, do you want to play Anaguma? Anaguma, which is the strongest castle, but it's weak on the edge. So usually if you play Anaguma, you wouldn't push this pawn. So Taniguchi asked, do you want to play Anaguma? And Suzuki said, probably not. And I'm reading some comments. They actually, so I told you they are veterans. They played 3 games in the past. The score is 1 win for Suzuki versus 2 wins for Taniguchi. And they didn't play for 4.5 years. So they played first game after 4.5 years. So it's pretty exciting. They both might have changed their style in that time. Silver developed natural for Furibisha, and bishop line is open. So in this case, you want to close the bishop line to avoid the bishop exchange. If you play Bisha, you don't mind. You can play the gold up. But if you play Furibisha, if the silver goes here, it will be hard to use. Therefore, she blocked the bishop line. Let's see what castle will Suzuki play. First, she will move the king to the safe spot, far away from her rook. And I think this is quite unusual move. Usually in Furibisha, you would go like this, and then choose which side you want to move the rook on, opposing rook, third file rook, or fourth file rook, sometimes middle rook, central rook. But in this case, she pushes this pawn directly. So it could mean she goes for the middle rook. Then king move, silver up. And this is also interesting way. We don't see it often, I guess. Usually the silver goes here, but she keeps the option of moving the silver this way. Gold up from the right. And here we see that Taniguchi-san chose the 4-file rook. Yeah, at some point she will want to push this pawn to attack, right? As we will later see, the problem will be this bishop exchange, so some kind of skillful sequence is necessary. 5-6 pawn, which is the usual move to answer. If the pawn will be here, the silver will be able to defend. King up because the Furibisha decided on the rook position and it's time to make the castle. Silver up, which could be indication of vanguard pawn. King moves, and we see bishop up, which indicates that the king will move here and that it won't be a boat castle anymore. And the Gote is going for Mino castle. In the future, the gold will go here and the castle will be finished, right? And you could expect that Sente would play left side Mino, but here, to everyone's surprise, Suzuki-san decided to push the lance, which indicates Anaguma. But hey, didn't you say that when you push this pawn, it means you don't play Anaguma? You can say, yeah, usually yes, but there's the risk. Like in the future, the edge attack will be 1 move faster, but she decided that she will try to go for Anaguma anyway, which is quite a brave move, I think. And I see the comment that actually there was no game in the past of professional official games with the same position, so it's a unique position this far. Alright, so what should Gote do? If Gote doesn't do anything, the king will go into tough Anaguma, and Gote will be at a disadvantage with the light Mino castle. So the Gote has to probably move before that happens. And so Taniguchi-san decided to develop the silver. Next move, she wanna go here and take this pawn, attacking the bishop. So there's two moves to defend it, either silver or pawn push. Suzuki-san decided on the pawn push. And here, because the bishop exchange won't happen anyway anymore, Taniguchi-san decided to push this pawn and start to develop her big pieces. So far the position is equal. The only big difference in the king's castle. This one has a full castle. Sente doesn't have a castle yet. The other pieces are developed equally, I think. So here, Suzuki-san move the gold to put some nice pressure on the pawns against this silver. So this is where the Gote made the move without finishing the castle, as you can see. She pushed the 5-5 pawn. If Sente would take it, silver takes, pawn drop, then the basic strategy, right, similar to climbing silver, you push this pawn and you break through. If the silver is taken, instead you can make a token and in the future take the silver or just promote your rook, so you kind of get speed for the material. So this would be good for Gote for this side. Therefore, Sente needs to defend more skillfully, and she pushes the 6-5 pawn. It's a very cool thing. It not only attacks the silver, but also opens the bishop line in the future. So it's like two birds with one stone kind of move. Very, very cool. And here you don't want to move back, because that 5 pawn will be taken for free. And in the opening, it's very difficult to move without with a pawn loss, actually. And so she decided to take the 5-6 pawn. It's pretty dynamic position now. Sente, if this silver would be taken, the gold would go away from the king. So the only option for Sente is to take this pawn, actually. The next move that Taniguchi played was silver move back. But actually, after the game, she said that her plan was to play the 5-5 pawn. But after silver is taken, promotion, silver takes, taking this pawn push. Here she didn't like the rook to 6-8 move. So yeah, she moved the silver back, and Sente Suzuki-san decided to attack. So Ibisha usually starts the attack with this pawn push, which has to be taken. The bishop exchange happened, and you see now that no piece is defending this pawn, so in the future she will go there. But before that, she drops this nice bishop to put the pressure on this line, on this knight that cannot escape. And Taniguchi-san decided to defend those both threats using the gold. But the minus of this move is that this gold goes away from the king side, right? So you would think that Sente is a little bit more confident in this position so far, even though the Anaguma is not finished. Actually, I also noticed one more comment a move before. Instead of taking the 2-4 pawn, what about taking this bishop, knight takes, and the pawn push? This could be interesting move for Gote for avoiding this pawn promotion, making it much slower because the bishop disappears. What she didn't like was the bishop drop here, and after it's defended with the rook, it kind of pins the rook to the silver. Taking the pawn is a good way to defend for center, apparently. If she would move the gold, I guess this pawn push is a little bit painful for Gote. So she didn't play that. She took the pawn, and this exchange happened. What happens next is Gote has to protect this rook promotion, so she dropped the pawn, and instead of move passively to the back, we have the two-piece pressure on this knight. And we have the post-game discussion comment that Taniguchi-san, that was Gote, she already felt that this position is bad for her. So why don't we take a look at the, why don't we explain why would she feel that? So one thing she could be confident about is that she has the castle finished, but this gold went to the wrong direction and this silver is not working very properly, so this is the minus. The rook is not very active yet compared to this rook, and the bishop is not very useful in the hand and there is no immediate usage of it. Then center doesn't have the castle done, but this gold is here, but all the center's golds are close to the king, and the silver is making nice connective shape here. And the piece activity difference, there's no piece for center that is playing around, right? Maybe this lens is a little bit odd, but the center has many moves to play after in this position. So I guess maybe this is why Taniguchi-san felt that she has no move or she has a bad position. So I said the bishop is not used very well, so what she did is try to use the bishop. She dropped it to 2-5. After post-game discussion, she said that she didn't feel good because in this game she didn't find a good variation to use the bishop. It became it was hard to use the bishop in this game. Instead, what she proposed was pawn push here, 5 of pawns, silver goes back, and bishop promotion, rook takes, and bishop to 1-5, protecting this rook indirectly. So this way she wouldn't waste any piece, right? All the pieces would be active. But she dropped the bishop to 5, and you would say like, but it's a good move, it attacks the rook. But actually Suzuki-san played a very nice move after that. First she put the pawn to 5-4, which is kind of forced move. She decided this position, and then she played rook promotion to 3-3. Gold takes, bishop takes, and she gets 2 pieces in exchange of 1, which is pretty nice deal. And over that she promoted the bishop. So I think you can see already much clearer that center has advantage here. But of course we are talking about the top lady professionals. Taniguchi still wants to give a fight in this position, and she does by simultaneously defending the rook and attacking the horse, as you see, using this bishop. Pretty cool move, I think. And because horse is a big piece, of course the Suzuki-san want to keep it, so she goes back to 5-5 square. The obvious threat next is the knight drop here. It cannot be taken. So Taniguchi-san plays this kind of move. If it is taken, you can defend with the silver. So you see it would defend the knight drop while attacking the horse. Pretty good Tesuji to remember. It's something that Mino usually does. In this position, they went into the lunch break actually. Therefore, Suzuki-san had additional 40 minutes kind of to think about this position. Both of them still had around 1 hour left in this position. So I would actually say that before the lunch break, the game went really fast. I guess they're really used to play to each other. They know each other joseki, so they had this image of the position in their head, therefore they played fast. But yeah, it's pretty unusual to play this many moves before the lunch break, I think. After lunch break, Suzuki-san played 5-3 gold, which is quite unusual move. And the meaning is, if the silver takes the gold, which looks natural, rook takes the token, the horse comes here, and there is this double threat again, right? So the gold is maybe hard to be taken. There was post-game discussion again. Instead of this move, Taniguchi-san was afraid of the 2-6 pawn. Rook drop, which is check, hold, and taking this pawn. She didn't feel good because, I mean, she used the rook to take the pawn, so maybe it was a better way for Sente to attack, right? Then maybe she could drop the gold or something. It would make her king, it would make Sente's king more secure. Why not losing tempo? And the other variation they were talking about, after the pawn, 1-4 bishop, means that the bishop defense of the rook is gone, and therefore the gold drop is even more painful for Gote. And what happened? Gote decided that she doesn't care any much about the material, because if the rook's taken, she can get the gold, right? And she wants to keep attacking, so she puts this pawn instead of protecting the rook anyhow. Same for Sente. Instead of taking the rook, simply we would prefer to go to the king side and attack, right? In this position, Suzuki-san played this move, which again treats this drop while allowing some future exchanges and maybe pawn drop. So activating the pawn as well. Pretty cool move. Taniguchi-san played a fighting move, which is silver up. Taking the rook is not good because this important horse would disappear. So what Suzuki-san decided is that this defending silver, it would be better if it's not on the board. So she sacrifices the horse here. Pretty cool, I think. How many minutes she spent on this move? 3 minutes. So it seems that she's pretty confident. Alright, Taniguchi-san took the bishop, the horse, and then Suzuki-san took the rook. If the gold would be taken, this pawn is even faster, right? Attacking two pieces at once, so taking the gold is not a good idea. And Taniguchi-san promoted this token. So what you can see next, if token goes here next, there would be a double attack. Therefore, Suzuki-san escaped with the gold, finishing her kind of, okay, it's not a castle, but making a wall, right? Protecting against this kind of checks. Pretty nice way to defend, I think. And then Goten needs to find a way to attack, so moving the silver back. If this silver is taken, if the gold takes it, then there's only two defending pieces left. So it's got nice move again. But there is no defense. If Sente tries to escape, well, it kind of helps Gote because this piece disappears from defense, right? And it's not doing anything nice immediately, so instead pawn promotion is more direct threat for the king. And this is a nice way to defend. I think you should remember it. I told you that if the token would be taken, there's two defending pieces. So instead of taking this small pawn, she decided that joining the gold to the castle would be nicer. So she has this nice wall over here now. And because there is this wall, there is no immediate way of attacking for Sente, and this would be a very quick attack. Taniguchi-san decided to move it back, but there is this beautiful knight drop, and there is practically no more defense here, right? What she can do is just drop the pieces in defense, which means her attack will grow weaker. Therefore, she decided to leave the position that it is, and she promoted this bishop finally near the opponent's king. Of course, the silver was taken, gold takes, and here, silver drop here. There is a comment here that this is actually a tsumero, so a checkmate threat. So let's say rook drop, taking the gold. If taken, there is the rook drop here, and therefore the king runs. And this nice decision here, right? And knight takes means gold drop. If king takes, it means silver drop. Checkmate here. And if the king goes back, you close the escaping route again. And unpromoted silver. This is like the usual Tsuji against Minokaso. So I just remembered a nice trick, like if you play a game of Shogi and the middle game is difficult, what you should concentrate about is to make the number of pieces defending the king less. So in this case, Suzuki-san managed to lower the defenses to the 1 gold, and then making this kind of tsumero threats becomes much easier, and you enter the endgame phase, right, with few pieces on the board. And here you can see how well Sente went out of the middle game, because she has 3 defending pieces around her king as compared to 1 gold here. So it's much more easier for us to evaluate this position, right? And you can see that material advantage doesn't matter so much. Like Gote has 3 big pieces on the board, but because she cannot use it directly against the king, makes them kind of meaningless, right? So in the end game, what matters is the distance to the king and the speed of attack. So because the attack of Gote is much slower than the attack of Sente, the only way to continue is to slow down the attack, which is practically meaning to defend. Therefore, she moved the gold back, slowing down the Sente's attack. And here there was this quite interesting move. Little bit odd in this position maybe, but what Suzuki-san played was to put the king in the furthest possible move. I think she called it like a bomb shelter or something. I guess she was afraid of the big pieces, right? Dropping on the bomb on the board, kind of image of the bombs, right? Anyway, so the comment says that instead of this move, silver drop was better. Why? Is because Gote tries to attack again. There is this nice defending move, and this way she gets into the hand either knight or horse, which gives her tsume one way or another. So maybe that would be a nice way to continue. Alright, but instead she played the king move back. Gote has no option but to continue attacking. a 5-5 bishop. And what they say that in the future this gold is basically pinned, so it cannot join the checkmate phase. Sente continued the attack naturally. There's no way, right, to defend here because there's too many attacking pieces. The only way is to escape. But as you can see, what Sente managed to do is to push the king on the edge, making it, let's say, making it alone, separating it from the other pieces. And we have the proverb against the edge king, push the edge pawn. And so Suzuki-san did. And next what we have is taking this pawn, going up, silver drop, going here, and as we said, the gold cannot go up, therefore pawn push would be a checkmate. So Taniguchi-san took it, and there's actually no immediate threat, so Suzuki-san pushed the token. I would say it's a very calm move. Taniguchi-san took the gold in the last desperate attack. Next, this move would be a checkmate. But as you can see, Suzuki-san can take this knight, this bishop before that happens. One line you have to read is whenever Gote has a checkmate here. Let's say this happens. And you can see that, let's say this happens. You can see that there is enough pieces, right? It's very scary variation actually, not that I'm looking at it, but probably maybe even here, probably it's enough for Sente to run away, right? Probably it's enough. I'm pretty sure, yeah, she still had time to read this. She had like 17 minutes, so she could check this variation. So yeah, she took the bishop, and Taniguchi-san took the silver instead. So this would be a smear again, right? One move, checkmate next. So usually what would need to happen is that Sente needed to be sure that she has Atsume, because she put her king in a very dangerous situation, and she had one. She dropped the pawn, and in this position Taniguchi-san resigned. In the last comment she said that Sente was playing at own pace the whole game, and it was hard to find the variation that would be good for Gote, that would be playable for Gote. So let's check the variation. Of course the king cannot go back because the rook is here, so the only option is go up or taking the pawn. If she goes up, which is the fastest way, let's say bishop drop, taking the pawn, sacrificing the silver, taking gold up, king up, and less, right? If the king takes the pawn, maybe silver sacrifice, king takes, gold, king goes back, and similar shape, right? Just a different order of moves. So the result of this game means that Taniguchi-san became 2 wins and 1 loss in Hurrik tournament, and Suzuki-san has 3 straight wins. And the Hurrik tournament means is the system of the Hurrik tournament is that if you have 2 losses, you are knocked out of the tournament. So even though Taniguchi-san lost, she still has some chances and Suzuki-san is on the good road uh, for the title with 3 wins. So that was the game, the most recent game of ladies tournament. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for today, and see you next week. Bye bye.